Hi friends, welcome back to Dergy be Playin Virtue's Last Reward, where Clover is looking very surprised about something. Maybe shocked, more. Oh yeah, it's Dio again, I think. I don't know if it's actually him. I wouldn't be super surprised if it wasn't him. And again, like I mentioned last episode, I don't remember if he did this in this route yet or not. I'm leaning towards not, so maybe it really is just Dio again. Either way, speculating is kind of moot when we're about to see who it is, right? I would imagine. But I am wondering what's gonna go on here, because isn't this ending territory here? I don't freaking remember if this is the first or second room I've done this time, but I guess we'll see. No, wait, hold on. Yeah, this would be the second, right? Because it's always after the second set of rooms we get to the right doors, right? I think so. Either way, we're about to find out what the hell's going on here after escaping the exit, which is a funny thing to think about. But literally, you get trapped in the exit way, which is a funny irony I realized while editing, which is why the episode is titled the way it is, the last episode.
Never mind, White. We just need to get back up there pronto. I'm worried about Quark. We need to hook up with Alice and Kay. The sooner the better.
Right, got it.
Let's go.
We returned to the Floor A warehouse to find only two people waiting for us. Kay, who'd gone through the red door, and Dio, who'd gone through the green door.
Where's Quark?
We took him to the infirmary. At the moment, Alice, Phi, and Luna are looking after him.
Is he all right?
I don't know if I would describe him as all right, but apparently his condition has not worsened, if that's what you mean. He is still resting. However, we...
Good. I'm going to the infirmary.
However, we what? What were you saying, Kay? That's important.
Tenmyoji, please, wait.
Tenmyoji ignored Kay and took off at a run through the yellow door. I've noticed Kay has a thing about being long-winded, which, well, if you've watched me enough, and if you have, you're awesome, thank you. But if you have, you might have noticed that I also have an issue with being long-winded, so same, dude.
Oh dear, he's gone. There was something I needed to tell him.
Well, it's not like the girls will just tell him when he gets there.
It's not like what? It's not like it matters. The girls will just... I think what I actually skipped was, well, it's not like it matters, okay. Girls will just tell him when he gets there.
He ought to calm down once he's seen the kid.
Clover and I looked at one another, eyebrows raised. Yeah, see, that's another one of those... Again, things like this are mentioned, it's obvious from the way it's said that it's really fucking important. But it's probably important in a plot-relevant way. And so Uchikoshi's holding most of that for, probably the true ending. The things that all connect together to make the big picture. I've noticed that's basically how 999 worked, and I actually like that style of writing. I feel like maybe the way I'm talking about this might come across as me not liking it, but no, I do. I just think it's funny how often I notice these patterns now that I have played 999 and now this game. And it also helps that my thoughts are more solidified about these games than a lot of other games because I've been talking my thoughts out about them.
What are they going to tell him?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, but I have this feeling. Actually, wait, no. Kay might just spill the beans right now. But, again, Uchikoshi does do that thing. A lot, that I mentioned.
Well, you see...
But, Tenmyoji doesn't know. That's important. What?
You found virus medicine
Okay,
in the
never mind.
laboratory?
See, again, I've noticed I do this a lot. I assume I know what Uchikoshi's gonna do, and I have a feeling that he banks on some of that. I don't know if this is written with any kind of intention like that, but I just find it funny that at this point I'm so used to with Uchikoshi withholding information for entire routes that I was just assuming that it was just not going to be said when Kay's right here, and I can't really see why he would not want to tell us about this. Also, I feel like most of this game usually has music, so the fact there isn't any right now is a little bit eerie maybe. But, well, I don't know. I know there's other points without music, but I think most of the time this game has music. But maybe it's because the last time I played this game, I was in a room and they always have music in the gameplay sections.
Yes, unfortunately, we found only a single vial.
Okay. Wait, hold on. Isn't Quark the only one infected right now? Although granted, well, that we know of, right? Because I don't think the Alice thing didn't happen this time, did it? No, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that Alice didn't come down with it this time. But what the fuck does that mean? And what even is Radical 6? Is it even a virus? And if that's not a virus, then what is it? I think it might be some kind of morphogenetic fields effect. But, then we can cure Quark's Radical 6. Well, considering he started the sentence with "unfortunately," I have this feeling it's not that simple.
So it would seem.
Well, I guess we should head over to the infirmary and see how he's doing. Come on, let's go.
Right behind you.
Well, I mean, I guess he said unfortunately, like, just in case there was anyone else, which... I know there's at least a potential of Alice getting it. Is it really a virus, though? Like, or is it maybe some, at least kind of man-made virus, you know, like a Resident Evil type thing? Or COVID, if you believe some fucking conspiracy theorists. But, yeah. Conspiracy theory is more and more of a thing recently. And I have a feeling it's because there's more and more heightened stuff, and people don't look inward enough. I really would like to help facilitate more people looking inward through my videos. Because I've always been that kind of inward-looking person. And it's kind of funny and ironic how if you look inward enough and check yourself, basically, question why you think about things the way that you do, and why you have these kinds of reactions that you do, and actually, like, sit there and be like, huh, I have this emotion, what does that mean? And if you do that enough, what I've realized is that not only are you more well-adjusted of a human being, you have less of that stuff trapped in you, and it's just great anyway, even though it's uncomfortable to sit there and do that. It gets so much easier the more you work on it, especially when you know the benefits, and then when you feel them and see them. At this point, I could never not do that. It used to be so uncomfortable for me, though. But I've noticed, again, I think the biggest benefit to it is this weird irony of if you look inward enough, when you look outward, it's not as hard to see everything being the way it is in 2022, you know what I mean? So, it's the most worthwhile thing you can do. And a lot of us have had more free time than we've had ever because of these last 2 years, and I think that if you aren't using it for figuring yourself out a lot more than most people ever try, you should be. It's the best thing to do with your time. I would know, because I've just naturally been inclined to it my whole life, and it's very beneficial. Luna's voice was quiet as she stepped back from Quark. She held an injection gun with an empty vial. Okay, so yeah, she did cure it already. Although, again, part of me's like, is this a normal-ass virus? Because, like, these symptoms feel like something more psychological than physiological. Although I know that, like, some diseases can have psychological effects, but, like, I don't know, man. It might just be engineered at the end of the day, like I said. And it might literally be a virus, and that might literally be what Junpei had, but it, like, went away? Maybe it's a separate thing, though. Maybe Radical 6 is its own thing, but Quark also has those timey-wimey effects of everything seeming fast. And that's like a separate-ass thing. I think that makes more sense to me. But again, the mystery of what that is, well, a mystery. Delicately, she placed it back in the cabinet. Ah, he's peaceful. He's just chilling. Sleepy boy. I might make the thumbnail a close-up of his face like that, just for the wholesomeness effect, because of some of the other oof-ass thumbnails that I've had, because normally I try to find a story-relevant event, if there is one. But yeah, like, I feel like having one wholesome thumbnail of just him sleeping peacefully would be nice, but I also have a feeling that shit might be about to go down that I would need to include in the thumbnail. Or that the general gist of the episode, because we are not very far into it, would be best described by something else. I want to pet him. I want to pet his hand. Quark had been laid out on a crude cot and was still sound asleep. His breathing was even and his expression was peaceful. He looked like any other child, sleeping soundly after a long day of doing whatever it is children do to amuse themselves. You've been a child, Sigma, haven't you? You know what, like, what? What does that even mean? Maybe it's one of those boomer-ass children these days sort of things is what he's getting at. But, like, you were a child once, right? They play. Like, what are you talking about, dude? Any trace of the insanity he'd shown earlier was nowhere to be found.
Is he really going to be okay?
Yes. We analyzed the vial and confirmed that it was definitely Excelivir.
We? It sounds like a you thing. I think you would be the only one qualified for that we know of. But again, she's really tight-lipped about, like, she's apparently not a doctor or a nurse. What is she then? That's a bit, it's a bit sus, you know?
Now that I've administered it.
The Excelivir should eradicate the virus completely given enough time, right?
Fi's voice is hot, carrying on. I just, every episode I have to mention it again because, anyway.
Yes, that should be the case.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, what a relief.
Things are looking pretty sketchy there for a while, that's for sure.
I felt some of the tension disappear from my shoulders, and I let out a breath I hadn't realized I'd been holding. That's been a lot of me recently, just because I've been really figuring out ways of thinking that are better than the ones I used to have, and ways of being, and the kinds of thoughts that... basically how to not let thoughts fester. It's been a long time coming figuring out how to do it, but I did. I think it's always something you need to figure out for yourself, and it is not easy, but it's so fucking freeing. You have no idea until you do it, and then your life's just easier, no matter what happens in it. And that's what people don't get. So much of our suffering comes from ourselves, far more than we ever realize. In fact, it is my firm belief at this point that all real suffering does not come from the pain of the world, but how we subconsciously respond to it. And if we do not do the due diligence of figuring out how to make that unconscious process more conscious, at least more of the time, which there are so many resources for out there, it really is as simple as checking in with your emotions, asking questions about them. What do you feel in your body when you think about it? What old memories come up? Like, and being like, okay, what's the root of this? You will figure it out. We all have that in us to do. It actually feels very natural once I started moving past the fear of it. So I think we always were kind of meant to do that, but we're so much more used to just trying to block it all out these days in society. I felt some of the tension disappear from my shoulders, and I let out a breath I haven't realized I've been holding. We weren't out of the woods yet, but at least Quark was safe.
Ooh.
Tomiyoji let out a long, shaky sigh and lowered himself onto one of the empty beds. It's probably a lot of people in 2022. It's probably like a lot of the mood of recently. Even for me sometimes, even though I didn't really catch a lot of the brunt of the COVID-related stuff or a lot of the other stuff going on in the world, because I've always kind of self-isolated. He rubbed his hands warily across his face, and I thought I saw the glint of tears.
Alice, you okay?
Aww.
I don't know what to say other than thanks.
Again, man, like, what's going on here is I think he's his actual grandpa, or at least he has some kind of grandfatherly or fatherly relationship with Quark, no matter the real nature of it. And I have a feeling it's not really like that he's his actual grandson. Because I don't know why he dodged the question if he was his grandfather, other than I just don't trust you. But, like, saying yes would get Sigma off his case, so, like, I have a feeling it's not really... That's not the long and short of it, basically. But regardless of that, it's obviously really does care about Quark, and it's obvious he feels guilty about, like he said, on one of the other routes, that he roped Quark into this. He felt forced by Zero to do so, interestingly enough.
You saved his life. I don't know the words to tell you how much that means to me.
Aww.
Oh, please. It was nothing. Really. We just happened to be the ones who went through the red door.
Where is Kay? He's not in here.
He's still in the warehouse. Dio and Kay stayed behind.
They went there to wait for you guys while we came back here. We figured someone should explain what was going on so you wouldn't come back to an empty warehouse.
So Dio and Kay were the ones who opened the AB gates? Oh yeah, I was about to, like, I was literally thinking while I was listening to that, like, wait, hold on. Did we actually figure out who did it this time? And I don't think it was explicitly mentioned. But if it was, then I didn't hear it. But I think it's being mentioned now, so I don't think so. Either that or it's being reiterated, and thanks, game, if so.
Not both of them. There was only one door open.
Wait, there was one...
Well, we should
Wait a
probably
minute.
Tell them how Quark's doing.
Someone else opened a second one? That's sus, and I had a feeling there'd be a difference here. It's not just Dio.
Kay will want to know at least.
Okay, what the hell's up with my controller? A lot of the times I'm pressing the X button, do not register right now. I think it's just being weird with the USB connector. I hope it doesn't keep getting worse. Well, I'll figure it out if it does. Yeah, you're right. I nodded and headed back toward the other side of the room. I was nearly there when Tenmyoji suddenly spoke.
That's right.
Again, I feel like a lot of the way that I read the lines are a little bit too monotone. I'm working on that the best that I can. I'm just not exactly sure how to approach it, other than how I naturally do, and I'm not really pleased with how the way that I naturally read sounds a lot of the time, but I'm working on it.
You know that memory card we found?
This thing? Now, when I'm reading people's lines, I'm acting. I just need to figure out how to do inflection that sounds better to me when I'm just reading. So, I'm working on that.
I think I know how we can take a look at what's on it. What, you don't remember? There was a memory card just like it that we used to solve the puzzles in here.
Yeah. He's right.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know why, but I did not think about this monitor in here when we found that.
There's a slot next to the screen. Should work for this one, too.
Oh yeah, there it is. Right, yeah. Well, let's give it a shot.
Yeah, I want to see what's on it.
Okay, just give me a minute here. I slid the card into the slot next to the screen. No sooner had I done so than an image of a waveform popped up on the screen. Okay, that sounds a little better. I'm working on it, like I said. Also, apologies for the bird noise you probably hear in the background in some way. Those weird screechy noises are my Moluccan cockatoo, if you're wondering what the hell could be making that noise.
Why don't we turn up the volume a bit?
Luna tapped a few things on the screen, and a bar began to move across the screen. Began. I don't know why I said begun. Before long, a voice drifted out of the speakers.
This is Control. How's it going over there? Bet you missed the sound of my voice, huh? Well, I gotta be honest. It's getting pretty lonely over here, too. Feeling kind of like howling at the moon. Lone wolf style. Speaking of which, I'm looking at it right now. The old girl is beautiful. Never seen a moon this full. And that color. Tonight's that eclipse, remember? What a way to end 2028, huh? The moon's this amazing red. If it wasn't so beautiful, it'd be
Wait,
kind of
end 2028? Yeah, this eclipse, we've heard about it. And it's gotta be ominous. Considering this whole game is ominous. This whole series is ominous. Everything Uchikoshi writes is ominous.
Wish you guys could see it too, but sorry, forgot. You're supposed to be on Mars.
Wait, what? Are we on Mars? Are we fucking on Mars? You've gotta be shitting me. That's why the pressure. It's not to prevent a disease. It's because we're in fucking space. What? Considering just how ridiculous the pressure was, like in that chamber was, that makes more. We're on fucking Mars. Uchikoshi, you bastard.
So, how are Phobos and Deimos looking right now? Sure, hope I'll get to look up at them someday too.
We're on Mars. Of course we're on Mars. Why does that make sense to me just because Uchikoshi wrote it? I don't know, like, I think it's something like, of course Uchikoshi would also be interested in, like, space stuff, because that's also science-y stuff. and he seems to be a bit of a science nerd, which is awesome. I say a bit of one, extremely. Like, I imagine he reads this kind of stuff all the time, and that's why he gets all these ideas about this kind of stuff. He seems to be constantly learning about these, like, vague science concepts and stuff. I think that's where he gets a lot of these ideas, you know? And again, I don't know how much of these games are him, and how much of it might be the influence of other people, but, you know.
Anyway, over. Hey, something wrong? Talk to me, guys. What? You gonna play hard to get because we haven't talked in so long? Enough jokes, all right? Knock it off. Where are you guys?
Wait, so...
Is there something wrong with the radio? You're saying everything's green?
Oh, okay, we're not hearing... Wait.
Well then, what the hell's going on? Why aren't they responding?
So it seems like these people were trying to contact the Mars base or whatever the hell this is that we are apparently at. I assume this is at least the implication of this, whether or not it's actually true, and I wouldn't really put it past Ushikoshi for us to not actually be on Mars, but also considering that one flashback Sigma had, it makes a lot of sense that Mars is what we saw there, actually. But anyway, but apparently all these people went missing, and I imagine that was before Zero somehow was able to take us here. I don't know how the hell that happened, though, if we're really on Mars.
Look, you can see all 9 of them. 3 at each table. What? Someone hacked our feed? What do you mean this isn't live? An old clip on repeat? Who would do that? What in the hell is happening here? This is Control. I repeat, this is Control. Please come in. I'm asking you to respond.
I wonder if this is some kind of military project, or it was. That would certainly make sense for the way the base is. And it's a self-contained living space and everything because of the fact that it's a fucking Mars base.
This is...
Oh, thank God.
Okay.
You really had me worried there. What happened?
This is...
6 of us are... dead.
Who's the woman? I'm trying to really parse the voice. I don't think it's anyone we've heard before. I think I've heard this woman in other things, but not in this game.
What?
Counting myself, there are only 3 left.
I think I've definitely heard her somewhere, but I can't pinpoint anywhere. I feel like her voice is familiar, but as for where, I might look it up, or I might have an epiphany about it later.
How? Why are...
They were killed.
What?
I guess you could say I killed them.
Wait, what? I guess you could say? What is that supposed to mean?
No, that's not quite right. Not just them. Not just these 6. All of them. All 6 billion. Soon, I will have killed 6 billion people.
They made the virus here, didn't they?
Are you there? Respond! Damn it. This is Control. I repeat, this is Control. We have an emergency situation. We have an unconfirmed report of 6 deceased test subjects. Deploy rescue and escort teams to the test site immediately. Shit. What the hell happened in there?
Is that it? So there is the virus. It was made here. Did Luna have something to do with that? But who was the woman? And what happened to any of those people? And how the hell did Zero get us here from, I assume, Earth, if we're really on fucking Mars? But, again, considering the first game, I wouldn't be surprised if we're not on Mars. Because we thought we were on a ship the whole time, but where we actually were was the middle of the Nevada desert.
Yes.
What on earth was that?
Any ideas? Luna? Because if she has got a medical license and she's being tight-lipped about it, and this was apparently a test facility, I got only frowns and shaken heads in response. Only one person showed a reaction other than stunned confusion. Tenmyoji. I thought it was going to be Luna. Long after the audio ended, he stared at the screen deep in thought.
Do you know something, Tenmyoji?
Yeah, I think I know what that was. It's probably a transmission from the Mars mission test site.
Mars?
I'm sorry, what?
You mean some kind of space travel?
What kind of test site was it?
Did you know that the government is developing spaceships with particle annihilation engines? These ships would be able to get humans to Mars a lot faster than old chemical rockets.
Is this actually happening in real life?
But they don't want to just send a manned Mars mission off half-cocked. That was the idea behind this test.
Yeah, I don't quite remember anything that he just said, but I do remember that we're trying to get people on Mars. I just don't think in real life it's happened yet. But, well, it's 2028 in this game, so by then, it's possible. Especially considering there's been a lot of space-related advancements recently, and it's 2022. So, probably sooner rather than later. And if we already have people on Mars, I also would not be surprised that I, living under the rock that I do, have not heard about that.
They built a whole complex on this old Air Force base in Nevada.
Oh! We're in the Nevada Air Force Base, then. I think so.
The idea was that it would be a simulation of a manned mission.
Yeah.
With a crew of 9 men.
Very similar.
Monitor the whole thing and use that data to plan the real mission.
Very fucking similar to the setup for 999, where there's a parallel situation. So what we just listened to was a transmission from that project?
Yeah.
Why is something like that here?
Don't know why. We found it in the safe. No explanation. Dollars to donuts. It's got
Dollars to donuts. I've never heard of that. And I've heard a lot of expressions in that vein, like, I'll bet you money and stuff like that. It's definitely along those lines, but I don't think I've heard of dollars to donuts. What I do know is that donuts sound delicious right now.
You mean we were meant to hear what was on that card?
Yeah.
It's all very interesting, but how exactly do you know about all this?
Oh, about the simulated Mars mission?
Yes.
I was involved.
Oh my fuck. I had a feeling, man, that he had something to do with all this. Involved?
The intent was to create as accurate a simulation as possible.
Quark may be related to this whole Mars mission thing as well. So if Luna doesn't have to do with this, and it's Tenmyoji instead that, well, at least openly has to do with it, then why the secrecy about her medical background, and why did she seem to have a reason to kill that old woman? Now again, we don't know if she actually did it, but it seems pretty damn likely, and we had a whole route around that, so...
That meant we'd need to simulate the radio silence we'd experienced during conjunction.
What's a conjunction?
It means two things in space are close to each other. In this case, we're talking about a superior conjunction, where Mars and Earth are on the exact opposite sides of the Sun. So unless we've got some sort of relay, there'll be a period of time where we won't be able to communicate with each other. What we heard on that card was when the simulated conjunction was scheduled to end.
That's when they died.
Now we don't know that. They could have died long before that conversation. All we know is that's when it was discovered.
So 6 of the test subjects died, right?
Yeah.
Well, do you remember what she said? There was something about how she didn't just kill 6 people. She said 6 billion. The heck did she mean by that?
Just what the hell happened there?
Again, I think they made the virus. That's the only thing I can think of as to why she would say that. Tenmyoji frowned and looked down at the floor. We were all silent as he paced slowly back and forth across the room. At last he stopped, raised his head, and spoke.
The truth is that there's a chance a virus escaped from the test.
I fucking thought so.
A virus? Wait, you don't mean...
Yeah. Radical 6.
Fucking thought so.
I'm just telling you what I know, okay? Nobody's sure how Radical 6 got in there in the first place, but...
Okay, so it wasn't made there then, but it got there.
One of the subjects might have been infected when they entered, or the virus itself might have been an intentional part of the simulation.
Okay, never mind. Okay, maybe it was.
Became the index case for a pandemic. Anyway, prevailing wisdom says it got out somehow, and once it was out, it spread pretty quick, all across the planet.
And it killed 6 billion people?
No. Not directly. Best numbers put only a third or so of those deaths as directly caused by Radical 6. The other 4 billion died from the collapse caused by the deaths of that first third. The whole world just fell apart.
Wow, damn. I have a lot of questions. I don't even know where to start. Yeah, thank you. Like, I was about to say something about what he just said, but I have so many things that I want to ask at the same time that I don't know where to start. And I'm glad I'm not the only one, Sigma. I don't even know where to start knowing where to start yet. Well, no, take that back. Explain that date. Unless I heard this wrong, the day the Radical 6 got out... that seems a bit grammatically incorrect. I think that the should be removed. Unless I heard this wrong, the day Radical 6 got out was December 31st, 2028.
Yeah.
But the day I got grabbed by the guy in the gas mask was December 25th, 2028.
Me too. Christmas Day.
I was kidnapped on Christmas too.
And I know that some people were kidnapped, I think, before then, or not exactly on Christmas. I know that's another thing. I think we're about to see some of those people chirp up too.
Clover and I were taken 3 days
Yeah, see?
on the 22nd.
Yeah.
Then you see what I'm saying, right? That recording was made close to a week after we were all picked up. What the hell is going on here? Welcome to everyone at this game and at this series, and probably exactly what Ushikotsu wants us to feel like. That thing is from the future.
You see,
What else does he know? Okay, hold on. If the whole world fell apart, then what's he doing? Why is he alive? Wait, if he's a trash collector, does that mean he's literally just going around looting civilization and there's like very few people left, period? I think that's kind of what's going on.
All players, please enter your votes. If no vote is recorded before the deadline has passed, any non-voting parties will automatically ally.
we're out of time. We need to go back to the warehouse.
Oh boy. Wait, you haven't answered...
Don't care. I need more than 10 minutes to explain everything. Half-assing it is just going to make you more confused. Now get moving.
Okay, good point. That is a good point.
It's enough.
But
Shut
that's...
your damn hole or I'm picking betray.
Come on.
Fine. Do what you want. But I need to get back to the AB rooms. I'd like to stay with Quark. He seems to be doing all right.
I'll stay here with him. Fi can do the voting for our pair. I can trust her. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, sure.
Well, if you'd be willing to do that, I'd be much obliged. Thanks, Luna. Take good care of him.
Wah.
Of course. I'll make sure everything goes fine.
Wah. Although, I don't know if we should trust her considering she seems to be a murderer, although I don't know how true that is. Tomiyoji gave her one last nod, then turned and dashed out of the infirmary. Well, that's that, I guess. We should probably be going
Yes.
too.
We'll just have to wait to hear the rest of what he has to say later.
I'd rather just get it all out in the open now, but there's not much we can do.
Let's get going then.
We returned to the warehouse and found only Kay. I explained what had happened with Quark, then glanced around the room. Hey, where's
He
Dio?
has gone into his AB room.
Already?
Indeed.
Then he opened the first AB gate, right?
Okay, I should have figured.
Of course.
This is bad. I won't be able to talk with him. This is going to limit my choices.
You've only got one BP left, don't you?
Yeah. Luna's the same.
Yeah, she's gonna have to pick Betray then. I think Dio knows that, so oh boy.
If Vi chooses ally and Dio picks betray,
Phi and Luna will be penalized.
I don't have a choice. I'll have to pick Betray. The risk with Ally is just too high.
Hey Alice, don't you have one BP too?
That's right. But Kay and I will be playing against Quark.
and he'll just default to ally. I guess you don't need to worry about getting penalized then, huh?
But what if Alice and Kay choose Betray?
You needn't worry. That will not happen. Even though, as you have told me, Quark is recovering. He is still weak. Moreover, he is only a child. To betray an innocent child would be...
Yeah, that would be unthinkable.
Well, at this point, I trust them both about that. Because, considering how Alice is about Clover, I doubt they'll pick Betray. We'll see. But I wouldn't put it past this game for them to 180 and do that anyway. but I couldn't see them picking Betray here.
Even if you ignore his age or condition, it's hardly fair to take advantage of someone who can't vote.
So you vote to ally?
Yes.
Of course.
Well then, shall we go?
Yes.
See, whenever, like, someone responds to that kind of thing with dots in this game, my brain goes, oh no, yeah, it's gonna happen. But that doesn't always happen. The game wants you to expect the worst, but it doesn't actually always happen, which is interesting. Because of the nature of these games and how so much bad shit happens. Like, horrible shit. Like, absolutely horrifically awful shit. But here, people can still be kind here. People can pick ally, you know? It's really interesting. 999 doesn't really give much leeway for being kind at all. I really feel like a lot of what Uchikoshi's trying to get across here for whatever reason is like human nature. Whether he's aware of that or not. Because as a writer myself, I often realize from other people's feedback that themes are there that I never really intended to be there, but it makes a lot of sense that they are there. Like, I wonder how much of that is, you know, how much of that Uchikoshi might have realized from whatever his exposure to fan opinions and reactions and all that to his games have been. Without saying anything, Fi turned and walked into the room just left of theirs. That left only myself, Clover, and Tenmyoji.
Do you remember what you said to me when you chose the blue door? Something about how you'd convince me to choose ally? Seems like now would be the time to let me know how you're going to convince me.
Well, it's not that complicated. I promise you that Clover and I will vote ally. That's it, pretty much.
I see. And you figure I'll believe you because you've only got one BP. Once you've told me that you plan to ally, I won't be able to choose betray, since if you're telling the truth...
You'll kill me.
Not a bad plan, but it assumes that I've taken killing you off the table. Seems like a risky bet for you.
I disagree.
And why is that?
Clover's BP is 6. If you ally and we betray, then she'd have enough points to escape, right? She could run off through the number 9 door as soon as this round is over. See, I was actually wondering, I was like, you know, in my head I was like, Sigma, is this a good idea? Because I don't think you have enough to back up this, but yeah, considering how, just like Quark, he seems to have an investment in Clover's safety as well, for sure, for some reason. And I think it's because I think we're the test subjects. And apparently we died already. I'm not surprised at that. That's my theory right now. Oh boy. Or at least those two are the ones he might be aware of. Maybe? Quark and Clover. And somehow... he's working with Zero specifically, isn't he? He really is the Santa, but I don't think he's actually Santa. His role is very similar. She could run off through the number 9 door as soon as this round is over.
I never...
That's easy for you to say. And also, I feel like if either Alice wasn't here, or she was dead or something, or if Alice was with her as a pair, then I could certainly see her fucking off, with or without Alice, depending on, you know, everything I just said. But since Alice is not paired with her and is alive and well, yeah, I don't think she would. But think about it from my perspective. Sure, you might not, but you also might. If I guess wrong, that's a pretty big loss for me.
Well, what if Clover tries to seduce you to get what she wants?
Why must the pervy old men have pervy angles to everything? Why is this a Japanese trope and needs to stop? What? I mean, considering the first game, she's sort of, I mean, a little bit kind of sort of, you know, I mean, it's not the most outside of the box thing for her to do, I feel like.
That's just an example. What I'm trying to say is that once you two are in that room, Clover might try and make some sort of bargain with you. I'm asking what you're going to do if that happens. Are you sure you'll still choose ally?
Seduce me. Why does it always have to be about this stuff with the girls that look like that? Like, I know she's over 18, and apparently she's been over 18 since the first game, but she doesn't look it, dude.
Hey! What are you staring at, you perv?
Maybe it's the fact that you are wearing almost nothing, and that's kinda your fault. Let's be honest here.
There's no way on earth I'd do anything like that!
Again, your case is not helped by the fact that you are wearing a bra instead of a top, basically. Like, I say basically, but it really is, it's obviously meant to be more than a bra. It's like an actual top, but she's basically just wearing a bra. There's nothing else on her torso at all. So, like, yeah.
As if.
Saying that while showing at least like half of your body off is a little bit hypocritical to me. Well, that's that then. Not gonna lie though, I'm a little disappointed.
So I can trust you. You're gonna choose ally.
Yeah,
You can trust us.
Promise.
of course.
We promise.
Why do I feel like she is gonna pull something? It's probably because, A, this seems like it could be foreshadowing for that. It also might just be trying to trick me into just choosing betray. Also, part of me feels like, what if I suddenly don't have a fucking choice? Because, story-wise, it's certainly possible for Clover to just press the button herself. But I have a feeling it is a choice for the purpose of the way this game works.
Alright. I guess I'll vote ally too then.
Also, man, I don't know about that. But, well, if he doesn't, this is literally just a game over. Because Sigma would die, unless the bracelets don't do what they're advertised to. Like in the first game.
3 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Well, looks like we don't have much time left. I'm trusting you.
I'm trusting you too, to not fucking kill me. Temioji gave us a curt nod, then turned and strode into the second AB room from the left. I have a feeling that it's similar to the first game in that it's either only some of the bracelets do what Zero tells us they do, or maybe none of them do. However, it is obvious that they do inject because of that one ending where I think it was Clover and Tenmyoji got injected while handcuffed to I think a bathroom sink or something. I really want to know what the fuck happened there. But there was also, I remember, some ambiguity on if that's how they died. What if they inject you, but it's literally nothing? It's like the medicine they say, like the poison that they say is there isn't there. I guess if Tenmyoji picks Betray, we will find out. So, why do I just have this feelio? Well, either way, all I know is that we're probably going to be able to choose anyway, so I'm choosing ally right now, regardless of anything, if I get the choice. I really do feel like, see, I can speculate all day, but I have this feeling that it's going to be normal. Pretty normal. He is going to choose ally. We are going to be able to choose ally or betray, and, you know. Right, well, let's get to it. But is she gonna do something in here? I'm kind of afraid that we might see some of the sides of her we saw in 999. Because as stable as she acts most of the time, she has literal murderous tendencies. Like, you know? We've seen it in 999 and we've seen it in this game.
Yeah.
So, are we gonna get Clover dialogue here of any kind, or not?
Hey, Sigma.
Oh no.
Ask you something.
Oh no. Is she really gonna do it? What's up?
Could you pick Betray?
Why the You fucking what? I don't know how to react to this. Other than Tenmyoji's right. But why would he know that? Or like... What? Oh my god. Why was Temioji able to guess that by being a perv? Like... Now, I know the reason is because it's an Uchikoshi game, but a lot of me didn't think the game was gonna do it, but now that it's happening, I'm like, why didn't I ever think? Like, why did I ever not expect this fully? Especially when Temioji foreshadowed it. From Uchikoshi, why did I not expect this? Especially because Clover's like the fan service character. I've noticed that that's a thing. Uchikoshi sort of has this, I guess, fan service pattern that he's followed with both of these games, where there's Clover for the people that like, you know, younger girls, and everything that comes with that, and then, you know, they got a big booba lady who is kind of a mommy-ish type, kind of, or, I mean, that was more just Lotus, but, you know, more of a mature woman sort of thing, and all the charms that come with that, and just giant boobs that are barely contained by a top that isn't really a top. Because that was also Lotus, but, like, Alice is another level of that. Because a necklace as the only thing covering your boobs is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. And it's just here.
But you're so big and strong.
Oh my god.
You just throw me on the ground and that'd be it.
Clover, please. Don't say it like that! That makes it worse! But of course... Why was Temioji right about this? I can't get over that. I have a feeling he knows enough about Clover to guess this. But he's not letting on to why, and it doesn't seem like she knows him or remembers that he knows him. I think we all might actually know him or have known him, and we died, and somehow he's trying to bring us back like Santa was trying to bring June back? Is that what happened? I just had a crazy thought. What if the whole premise of this game is that, like, because they changed the past, the whole butterfly effect thing happened in 999, so that's why Radical 6 happened and destroyed the whole world? And what if this is June and Santa, or June, or something, or someone from 999 trying to fix all this? Did I just guess the plot? Because that sounds about right to me. I guess we're gonna see, huh? Yeah, well,
So I thought I might as well just ask you really nicely. Oh, I mean, I'd be happy to, if you just pick Betray for me, then I'll listen to anything you say.
She's not gonna actually do that. Don't fucking fall for it. If it doesn't give me a choice because horny, I will be so angry, but it feels like an Uchikoshi thing to do. However, not giving the player a choice doesn't also does not sound very Uchikoshi to me at this point. So, I have faith, but, like, I do kind of wonder what all happens when you do that, and I'll find out eventually, and it's gonna lead to a bad end. Like, why would it not, right? But does this mean she would actually leave even without Alice? I mean, maybe what she's thinking is, I'll escape from here, and then I'll have someone help Alice escape. I'll go get someone. Maybe that's what she's thinking. Because she obviously cares about Alice. Sigma, please. I'm not even gonna voice act this.
Yeah?
Anything. If this voice actress has ever, like, done porn, I would not be surprised. Because you could literally just splice these lines into any porno, and you would not know they were from originally a video game. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere there was some Clover porn animation that used these lines. Like, if there isn't one, I actually would be surprised, because the internet would do that.
So think carefully, okay? If you choose Ally, you're trusting him with your life.
Yeah, if he chooses Betray, it's all over.
Uh-huh.
Stop responding like that. Fuck, dude. I don't know why this is so just eye-rollingly frustrating to me, but it is. And let's be honest, part of it is because, I'll be entirely frank, I would be weak to something like this. Fuck, man.
Are you really, really sure you can trust that old fart?
Fuck you, Clover. Just... honestly, you know? God damn it. Hey now, that's not very nice. Yeah, she's not a very nice person at heart. We learned the fuck out of that. I feel like Clover cares very much about a select few people she's very close to, and then everyone else can go fuck themselves. That is, as far as I know, exactly how she thinks, to the point of she doesn't give a fuck if they live or die. That seems pretty damn obvious to me from 999, especially, you know, the axe ending. You know? And not even just that either.
The only safe choice is to pick betray.
The fact the voice actress is going absolutely ham with the fucking porn delivery here. Kudos, by the way. And also, I feel embarrassed for her just listening to it.
Then I'll have 9 BP. But you don't need to worry about that.
Yes, I do! What are you talking about?
Even if I do get 9 BP, I won't just go and open the number 9 door all by myself. I mean, Alice wouldn't have 9 points yet.
See, that's the other thing, is that, like, part of me does not believe this, but the other part is like, yeah, of course. So, I don't know. Obviously, if she does get 9 PP, we'd have to see what she does. So, for that reason, I kind of want to pick Betray, but I'm much more inclined to pick Ally, because I think that picking Betray is just going to lead to a bad end. And I'd like to stumble into those instead of intentionally doing them. I mean, granted, every end is a bad end, is, like, in these games, and except for the true end, you could probably say. Especially because they all do end in death and stuff, so that's fun.
And I can't leave her behind. Please?
Clover, please stop talking like that.
Will you pick Betray?
20 seconds remain until Ambidex's game polling closes.
The voting machine was still in front of me. I didn't have much time left to think. Would I keep my promise to tell Myoji and pick Ally? Or would I betray him for Clover and... Fuck you! Listen, I'm not one to talk, but this is the most wrong time humanly possible to be horny, okay? You fucking bastard. Ugh. In the end, there was only one possible answer. Wait, are you joking? Okay, no, it's gonna give me the choice. I love how, there was only one possible answer. My penis! No, of course not.
Round 2 of the Ambidex game has been completed. Results will be displayed in the warehouse. Thank you for your participation. Ambidex gates now opening. Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please direct your attention to the results screen.
Okay, whew. Again, I feel like this would be the wrong time for the game to pull that one on us, but it has to do the slow reveals that you're like, because fuck Ushikoshi, and he's just an asshole like that, you know? Or whoever designed that part of the game is an asshole, I guess. Or I guess everyone involved with the project is, or whatever you would say about that.
Check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
The fact that this game exists in the way that it does, these series, and just how fucking psychologically tormenting they are. Just, like man. Part of me will never probably understand why the shit-ass fuck bitch motherfucking fuck I like these games so much, but the other part of me is like, it's because of the characters and story. But, like, they're so fucking horrifying. Well, it seems like I made the right choice.
I did what I said I would.
You really helped me out. Thanks.
I could say the same
Aww.
thing. No need for
Aww.
this.
The corner of his mouth twitched into a grin. I felt myself smile a little in response. Dwah. Meanwhile, Clover's like, meh. Clover, on the other hand, looked less than pleased.
That was a bad choice, Sigma. And after I told you I'd listen to anything you said. Oh well, whatever.
She sighed heavily, shot me one last annoyed look, and stalked off. And she wouldn't do that anyway. Across the room, Dia and Fi were already confronting one another over their own results.
You tried to kill me and Luna. Can't say I'm surprised.
Don't give me that.
He betrayed, of course he did.
You know exactly what I was doing. I knew you weren't stupid enough to pick Ally. You'd defend yourself with betray, just like I would. Wait, where's Luna?
In the infirmary, looking after Quark.
Is that where Alice went to?
Alice? No, she went into one of the AB rooms with Kay.
Yes, we did indeed enter together. When the doors opened, however, she left, somewhat unsteadily.
Wait.
In the direction of the sun.
Somewhat unsteadily? Is she Radical Sixing again? Oh god.
She left the warehouse?
Indeed.
Without even checking the results?
Correct. There was little reason to check them.
Yeah, it's not like Quark was gonna betray you.
Indeed.
And you two still choose Ally. Man, what a pair of bleeding hearts.
If you say so.
Yeah, like... yeah. I see, you know, you can sit there and say, oh, what a pair of bleeding hearts, but, like, to me, that's just not being a dickhead. Like, I'm sorry, I hate Dio. I think he's a really well-designed character, but I think he's one of those well-designed characters that you're supposed to hate. And he's, you know, the story's definitely doing its job there.
Being mocked for my compassion is a small price to pay for retaining my humanity.
Where did Alice run off to?
While we were in the AB room, she mentioned being quite tired. Perhaps she went to one of the cabins to rest.
Oh, well, I guess that would make sense.
Yeah, I think she's Radical Sixing again. What I have a feeling about is that 6 out of the 9 of us have it. Because apparently there were 6 test subjects. What I'm guessing is we all died, and somehow we're going through the same thing June went through during whatever actually happened during 999, when she manifested as a different body or something. And I think we're all dead and having that happen, which would explain everything around the blackness that happens every time that an ending's happened. It explains why it seems like time has distortions, maybe? But I'm not exactly sure why time speeds up when it seems to, for specific people only, and what the hell that even means, but I have a feeling it has something to do with morphogenetic fields, and I have a reason that morphogenetic fields are why Sigma, probably Alice, and Quark, and 2 other people are all alive. An ominous rumble filled the warehouse.
The Ambidex gates have closed. Round 3 of the Ambidex game will be the Star Round. Star keys are required to open the gates. There is no set limit on usage of the Star keys.
And I imagine that this is the point of the story, at least until the true ending, where shit will always hit the fan. So, I don't know if there's gonna be another room here, but, well, I guess we'll find out, won't we?
The Ambidex gates can be opened as many times as the players wish to open them.
Now, obviously, the point is the game intends to go on, but what if something happens right now, where people are killed to the point where, yeah, the game ends early, because we die or something, who knows? We can open the gates as many times as we want?
That means the star keys can be used to play the AB game any number of times.
Whoops, I didn't... Okay, it was just But, like I said, I want to ensure that I voice act all the words and that I let all the words be voice acted, or at least voice act them myself. If I accidentally skip through parts of lines, like I said, I just like making sure I do that for completion's sake. Especially because, again, I'd like someone to mostly listen to this, especially someone who has played the game before. Or maybe even only, I would really only recommend doing this if you've played the game before. I'd like someone to be able to listen to it and basically know what's going on, and just, you know, absorb the person's thoughts about the situation that you probably know about, because I'm making sure to say all the words, you know? Listening to Let's Plays like that is one of my favorite things to do when I'm, like, doing chores or stuff like that, so, yeah.
If I understood that announcement correctly, that is.
Hey, didn't Zero Jr. say something about this?
As soon as the gates close, your colors get all shuffled up automatically. The pair and solo assignments hop around a bit too.
Huh. The way that was voiced is way different than that. I wonder why. Why didn't they just take the voice acting from that section? Because I swear to God, it does not sound like that. So I wonder why they didn't just take those lines and put them in that flashback. they recorded them again and they sound a little different. I wonder why. That seems to be a voice direction related thing. Like, for some reason they couldn't fit those there or something. But it just seems odd to me that they didn't reuse those lines. Because that's definitely said differently. But it's the same voice actress. Or maybe it isn't. And that's why. Like, they couldn't get her. But, like, if they couldn't, then wouldn't they just reuse it? So I'm wondering why it's voiced differently there. I really don't know. But I know for a fact that is not how it sounds in the original iteration of those words. I've been through the intro too many times to not notice that. So I really wonder what that's about. Can you guys all show me your bracelets? I want to see what all our colors and groups are this time. Within moments, a series of wrists were extended for me to examine. Okay, I wasn't sure if I was advancing it or if it was advancing on its own. I am advancing it. Huh? It looks like all the colors are weird. Clover's a cyan pair and Phi's a magenta pair, but Temioji's a yellow pair.
The 3 solos are red, green, and blue. K's red, Dio's green, and you're blue.
Then how are we supposed to group up for the chromatic doors? I think they're going to be white this time.
Oh, yes. Dio told me about them. Very interesting.
Yeah, they're white, all of them. I had a good look while I was waiting for Sigma to show up down in the warehouse.
You should have seen them then too, Phi.
Yeah, I did. You're talking about the doors in the Floor B warehouse, right?
Yeah, so lay it on us. How are the groups going to shake out this time? Phi nodded and began to explain. Option A. Temioji, yellow, and me, blue, would form one group. Okay, yes, so we are doing... Okay, it's already I thought something fast was going to happen here. I have a feeling that... Actually, yeah, this is different. We're not standing in front of the doors. So, I have a feeling that we are going to pick a door, but shit's going to happen between then and now. Now and then. So... Yeah, we'll see, won't we? Temioji, yellow, and me, blue, would form one group. And I'm hoping that because I allied with him, he's going to tell me the rest of that story so that I can get a lot more context about this. Because I already have a lot more context for this entire everything than I've ever gotten, so I'm happy about this. Phi, magenta, and Dio, green, would form another group. Clover, cyan, and K, red, would form the third.
Huh? Wait, you mean there's only one option?
Yeah, there's no other way we can group up to make white. Alice, Luna, and Quark aren't here to show us their bracelets, so we don't know for sure what their colors are. But it's pretty clear they'll all be pairs, since none of the pairs here have a partner.
So they'll be yellow, magenta, and cyan, right?
Right.
Alright, what now? We've got plenty of time until those white doors open.
Yeah, about an hour, it looks like.
I'm gonna go find Alice.
Of course. I'll come with you then.
Clover gave her a shrug, and the two of them headed out through the cyan door. I wonder why Phi wants to go with her so much. Maybe just to make sure she's okay? I really wonder.
Do I really need to say it?
The infirmary, right? You're gonna check on Quark?
Yeah.
He gave me a nod and trotted out through the yellow door. That left only 3 of us, Dio, K, and myself. It was me, Dio! I'm sure that some Let's Play somewhere has made all those kind of jokes. I haven't seen enough JoJo to know what that's all about, so I'm not going to try to make a lot of those, but I'll make a few. I'm pretty sure I've already made that joke in this in some way. So what are you guys going to do?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna head over to the lounge and have a drink.
In this situation, that's pretty normal, I think.
You wanna tag along, Kay?
Are you making fun?
Yeah, I don't think he can consume anything through his mouth with that on.
I find it rather hard to drink with this mask on.
Ah, right, of course. Well, I'm out.
Later. I'm kind of not very, sad that I accidentally skipped that line, anyway. Although I think he's voice acted well and a good written character, which is why I hate him so much, so kudos. With a lazy wave of his hand, Dio slouched off toward the magenta door. Took me a moment to realize Kay was following him.
Hey, what is this? You following me?
No, you must be mistaken. I hope to investigate floor B further. There are still several rooms I haven't visited.
Okay. You don't have to tell me your life story.
Except that's kind of what he does. And man, I really, hey, using too many words like always, identify with Kay on that one, especially this kind of a response to my long-windedness.
See ya.
Their conversation ended as they reached the door and stepped through it. But hey, here I can be as long-winded as I want and then edit it down. It's very nice. It's another part of why I find I really enjoy this. It's a nice... I feel it very satisfying that I can concisify what I say in these videos when I can't do that in real life. Which is the other reason why I'm not really fond of the idea of streaming yet, but enough of a demand for me to stream from y'all would definitely make me do it. And I've already tried streaming before, which is the other part of why I kind of know that whilst I'd like to, and whilst I'd like to make money doing it, and whilst I'd like to have a following, whilst I love streaming, I love watching streams, I love being on streams, chatting on streams, it would take a little bit more than what I've got now, as far as motivations, outside motivations, to want to stream. YouTube, though, unless something stops me from doing YouTube, yeah. Like, in any sort of physical sense, like, I don't know, YouTube stops existing, internet stops existing, I don't have my computer anymore, we don't have internet anymore, who knows, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna keep YouTubing. But yeah. Their conversation ended as they reached the door and stepped through it. And that leaves him again. What is he gonna do this time? Oh yeah, investigate Dergy. What should I do?
Tonight's that eclipse, remember? What a way to end 2028, huh?
Okay, yeah, I had a feeling we would have a flashbacky thing about... Wait, of course... Oh, wait. I need to get the rest of that story out of... Yeah! Oh my god! I thought that was gonna happen in whatever room we ended up in. But I have a feeling that when we get to the infirmary, some shit's gonna go down. Or some shit's already going down in the infirmary. But we'll see. The words were scarcely out of my mouth. Huh? There's nobody there. The room's completely empty. I edged forward. Wait, what? And peeked around the partition. There he was. Why is he the only one left in here? What happened? Tamioji. He was standing next to Quark, apparently oblivious to my presence, and looking down at something in his hand. At a picture? I must have made some small noise because he suddenly looked up, saw me, and hastily shoved the photo back into his pocket. What was that? It was a photo of something, right? Was it yours?
Forget it. It's got nothing to do with you.
But all the stuff we had with us when we grabbed was taken away. Why were you hiding it? Because he's working with Zero. And Zero gave him that, I think, as like some kind of a motivator.
Why should I tell all of you about one measly photo?
Because it's really fucking sus that you have it, dude. I just said that. Anyway, where's Luna?
I asked her to leave. I wanted to be alone with Quark for a bit. So, why are you here?
I wanted to hear the rest.
The rest of what? What the hell are you talking about?
Talking about that simulated manned mission to Mars. We heard that recording about it.
I don't have any idea what you're talking about. I'm getting old. Memory's not what it used to be. I seem to be forgetting a lot of stuff lately.
Hey, nice try, pal, but you're not getting away with it this time. You remember something, alright. You remember so much, you told me it'd take way more than 10 minutes to tell it all.
You really sure you want to know?
Huh?
Maybe I'll tell you, and then you'll regret it. Maybe you'll wish you'd kept your fool mouth shut.
Maybe in character, yeah. But I, as the player, want to know every fucking tidbit I can get.
Just think about all the hopes you've got for the future, and all the happy memories of your past. What if what I have to tell you makes everything you've ever believed ring hollow, and the whole world just crumbles around you? You sure you want that?
Hey, come on, you don't need to threaten me.
This isn't a threat. I'm being honest here. Are you really, truly prepared?
Well, of course. I never got the chance to say I am. And I didn't... Okay. Something this bombshelly. I had this kind of feeling that this is only going to be fully explained in the true ending. Why did I think otherwise for any length of time? Although, I guess we'll see, but I'm pretty sure that's how that is. Especially because, it's like I thought, some shit's going down. Because when Pete, like... That's like the tell that this game has when some oof shit's happening. Whenever someone barges into the room you're in panicked, like, there's horrifying death-related shit going on, or Radical 6-related shit. One or the other. That's how it's been. Before I could, Fi exploded into the room, her face a mixture of anxiety and fear.
Good. There you are.
Did something happen?
Alice is... Look, just come with me, all right?
Again. Okay, she got killed again.
She's in the number 2 cabin.
Oh no. Without waiting for... either that... Well, I guess we'll see, huh? It's either Radical 6... Maybe she actually killed herself because Radical 6 this time. Without waiting for a response, Fi spun around and ran back out of the room. Temioji and I exchanged a quick, confused look, then leapt up and took off after her. Yep. No! Same as before. Is it the same as before? Is it the same way she died? Though I think it's not the same implement that was used to stab her. But okay, let's see here. There's blood on... See, now, I'm becoming a fucking detective because of all these murder mystery games. Now when I see this stuff, I just want to know what happened. This game's kind of desensitized... These games have kind of desensitized me to oof shit. Which I think is honestly kind of useful for real life. Because you're gonna run into oof shit. And if you can deal with it okay, it's probably fine. A lot of people seem to, not like the idea of being desensitized to violence. But, if you are, then if it's happening, you can think clearly, right? So I don't think that's a bad thing. But anyway. The first thing I saw when I stepped through the door was the blossom of red on her chest. I felt as if I'd walked straight into a brick wall. I always appreciate the imagery of these scenes, but they definitely are very oof. And I might skip some of this, and I apologize for that, because like I said, the writing here is always very good. But that's why, because of what it's describing, that it's too much for me at times. I stopped short, my body refusing to move. Why did this happen? I forced one shaking foot forward, then the next. You know, this is a random thought, and I like having random thoughts, especially to distract me from oof feelings, let's be honest. But, I think that horror stuff can teach us a different way of looking at oof shit that is more helpful than just being utterly terrified by it. Anyway, my legs began to buckle, and I put a hand against the wall to steady myself as my heart thundered in my chest. Calm down, calm down. This looks pretty bad, but you don't actually know anything yet. Yeah, that's right. Maybe it's not too late. You know, I do wonder, people that write this stuff, I wonder what their motivation is. Maybe they don't know themselves. Obviously they probably just think they like writing this kind of stuff, but I do wonder what drives someone to write things this horrifying. I do wonder what that is psychologically about a person that makes them want to write this kind of stuff. And consume it. Because hell, I want to consume it because it's part of this other story that's so gripping. But if it was not contained here, if it was just this is a horror game, no, I would be less inclined. Unless it was for Halloween or memes or views. But as far as just, I'm going to enjoy a horror game for no other reason than it's a horror game, that's not me. I'm sure there's people like that. I ain't that. Maybe it's not too late. Maybe we can still save her. Then at last I pressed my fingers to her neck, and those hopes were dashed. Yeah, it looks like more than a stab wound. It looks like she's been, her insides have been scrambled with, I think, a scalpel. Was that Luna? And if it was Luna, then why did she kill Alice, and also possibly that old woman? Or is someone trying to frame Luna and doing a really good job of it? But why would that be? No pulse. But yeah, Luna's Luna's a missing piece of this puzzle, somehow. And I think a very AC character in that she's got extremely very well hidden, complete malice in her somewhere. I really think there's too much evidence for that, man. Luna being a murderer is one of the things I don't think the game's gonna subvert at this point. No pulse. Clearly she wasn't breathing either. Her pupils had dilated hideously, making her face seem somehow inhuman. I'm glad I don't have to see that in the graphics. Because just reading it is a pretty oof, man. No, it's not true. Why? Then I noticed it. All the blood must have distracted me, but now I saw that there was a scalpel buried in her chest. Judging by the position of its handle, she had been stabbed through the heart. I felt a sympathetic twinge of pain in my own chest, yeah, same, bro, and my stomach lurched. Bile and hopelessness rose up in my throat. I stood, hands balled tightly into white-knuckled fists, and took a deep breath. Who the fuck done it, though? All around the room are the rest of the Notary Games participants. Except, of course, for Quark. I wanted to ask which one of them had killed her. Even if it had been one of them, though, there was no way they'd answer. All I could do was stare at each one of them in turn, asking myself, is this person a murderer? The looks they traded with one another suggested that I wasn't the only person wondering if they were standing next to a killer. An unsettling silence filled the room. Clover was the first to speak.
Who did this?
Look at Fi. That is the thing this game does to you. Wait a minute. Look at Temioji, look at Luna, look at Clover. They look tense, right? She looks fucking lethargic, like, she looks confused, like, you know, what happened to Sigma, what happened to, I know Quark has experienced it too. What if that's happening to her? And why? Just like every other instance it happens to the other people, and why it happens at those specific points that seem very arbitrary to me, but I'm sure they aren't, because it's fucking Ushikoshi. Actually, maybe not. Okay. Because she immediately snapped then back to a more thoughtful look that's more like her. We'll see.
Say something! Answer me!
And again, it's not like this game doesn't have a lot of odd facial expressions, so I might have just, again, been going a little bit too off the deep end there, but, well, considering that that's an obviously very important plot point thing, I don't think you can fault me for thinking that.
Please, Clover, calm down. We don't even know if she was killed. Then what happened? An accident?
Well, she might have killed herself, but again, I think it was brought up before that you couldn't stab yourself in the chest, but could you? Could you stab your own heart? I think it's possible. I don't know. And I think she could have if she was Radical Sixing, because, well, when Quark was in the grips of it, he was trying to kill himself. So, yeah.
You think a scalpel just dropped from the ceiling and stabbed her?
Cool it, kid.
Also, I just realized, when June faints in 999, it seems really very similar to the same stuff that happens to Sigma, that happened to Quark, you know?
You did it, didn't you?
I mean, considering Dio's been the assiest of asses, I wouldn't blame her for going to him.
Are you nuts?
Then who did it? Who killed her?
Why would they speak up? Especially because you're literally gonna... Like, I know you. Like, you literally had no qualms with murderizing. It really seems like Clover really is only one big horrible thing happening to her away from... Well, not really her, but someone she loves, away from snapping. And that's, like, always a thing. It's interesting the parallels I see between this game and 999. Because there seems to be the parallel situations, right? The same facility that's a copy of a different facility. And that, like, it's affecting something that happened at that facility. So I think it's happening as we're all in the June situation, where we were the 6 test subjects.
Clover, even if we assume that she was murdered, it doesn't necessarily mean the killer was one of us, does it?
Wait a minute. went into the AP room with
Oh,
Alice
boy.
during the last round, didn't you? Something happened in there, didn't it?
No, nothing happened.
Don't lie to me!
Why is anyone even trying to communicate with her right now? She's obviously very, very, very inconsolable. And she's gonna think a lot of irrational shit right now.
There's no way Alice would just run off like that! She wouldn't leave me! Something happened.
Actually, Radical 6 literally just makes you insane and suicidal instantly. So I think it's very possible she Radical 6'd. But I also feel like Uchikoshi might want you to think that in order to basically keep you guessing until the end of the game, right? I think that's a huge part of his goal with these games. And he did a good job with me in 999, that's all I know.
If she was going to leave, she'd tell me. She...
Hey, Clover, don't you think just assuming Alice was murdered is jumping the gun a little bit?
How can you look at her and say that?
Because she doesn't have emotions. Have you seen Fi, Clover? Although, granted, again, Clover is running entirely on emotions herself right now.
Scalpels don't just stab people all by themselves!
Although she could have stabbed herself, and I think it's very possible, because we know she can get Radical 6 and be suicidal just like Quark, because it's happened in a different route.
Oh, I see. I get it now. You're all in on it, aren't you?
Oh god. Is she just gonna attack us? Oh god. I wasn't expecting her to make this nuts of a conclusion. Because if she's now against all of us, what the fuck is she gonna do? Oh god.
It wasn't just one killer. It was 6!
See, 6. That's an important number here. 6 of us are those dead people. I think that's literally where this is going because Uchikoshi's insane.
No wonder you're so anxious to say this wasn't a murder.
Clover, please.
Unfortunately, I don't think she's capable of that right now, especially by just, like, telling a panicked person to calm down always has the opposite effect. Haven't you noticed that? But people just kind of do that. There's a lot of things like that. People just, like, have these tendencies that if they thought about for half a goddamn second, and of course, I am probably guilty of most of these. I think it's very human for some reason. But you'd realize that they aren't as grounded in reality as they seem. Anyway.
Prove to me in 10 seconds that you didn't murder my friend, or I'm going to kill every last one of you bastards! You're all going to die just like she did!
Hey, hold on a minute. Also, I don't think she'd listen to any This is literally about to be some death. It's about to be some, like, attempted murder. It's about to be maybe the point of literally ending up killing each other. Oh god. Oh Jesus. Oh fuck. Oh god.
8.
Oh god, what is gonna happen here?
Clover. 6. 5. 4.
Clover!
3.
2, 1. I'm skipping just because I need to get to the punchline of this. Is too much tension right now. I need to get to the... Fuck you, game! I need to get to the punchline. The game's just like... See, this black screen is actually a middle finger pointing at me. I can see it, you know, just barely. Why is that an ending? Why is that an ending? Fuck you! Nah. How long have I been recording? Nearly 2 hours? Alright, well, okay. As much as I hate that this is a stopping point, this is not a stopping point. This is a cliffhanger from hell. See you guys next time. This is the length of an episode, so it's an episode. I hate this ending, though. It's not an... There's that's at least 2 of these to be continued. There was only 1 in the first game. Not sure I like how many endings there are, but the point is obviously clear that there's more small pieces that were revealed here, and there's always small pieces that are important revealed in every ending, and that's the point. Either way, I'm not sure which ending I'll attempt next. I'll figure that out when I record that one. But I'm not sure which ending I'll attempt to go for next. I'll figure that out whenever I start the next route. Because at this point, making plans right after the first one, I tend to basically go back on those a lot. So I'll just decide whenever I'm recording that next session. But for the moment, friendos, Like, comment, subscribe if you'd like to. That'd really be helpful. And I will see y'all in my next one. Keep loving yourself and loving life and doing what you love. And I love you. And I'll see you next time.